after numerous car breakdowns in the previous episodes.
Car has broken down. This is not good.
I decided to do a longer stay in Maun, both to catch my breath for a bit and to have the car at the mechanics for a proper fix-up before a 6-week bush trip.
Now we will fix it. Right? Yeah.
First into the Central Kalahari and then further south to a place called Kalahari Transfrontier Park. Both places very much remote, and I did not want to risk any more breakdowns. The budget took a big hit upgrading the suspension and getting a new alternator and battery, so I wouldn't have any more wheels snap off on me, or risk the car not starting because of a drained battery.
The moment of truth.
So far, I had 7 out of my 9 portraits of wild male lions. And I'd already been in Botswana for 4 months. I'd got plenty of other wildlife photos as well, of course, but I must admit I thought I should have managed to get more lions. At the very least have reached my minimum of 9 portraits. But it's easy to forget the enjoyment of travel, adventure and visiting exciting places if you get too caught up in a single goal, instead of the experience as a whole. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned from years of traveling full time. Despite being annoying, all these breakdowns had their charm in a weird way. And I hadn't been eaten by anything or starved to death just yet, so the adventure was still on. While in Maun waiting for the car to finish, I enjoyed these days sleeping in a proper bed at my cousin's house, and I even planted my very own baobab tree in his yard.
Botswana has a lot of famous baobab trees as landmarks.
Such as Bain's baobabs at Naipan. Baobab trees are huge, very typical African trees, and many of the baobabs in Botswana are quite famous landmarks. I do like these trees and very creatively named my baobab
Daniel's baobab.
If you touch it, you will never ever experience car trouble in the bush again. With that, I packed my car, filled all my tanks and headed into Central Kalahari Game Reserve. This had been a dream of mine for a while. Central Kalahari, one of the most remote places you can go by yourself. In there, it's just you and the wilderness. And fingers crossed, those big black-maned lions Kalahari is famous for. The campsites are nothing like the other reserves, where you have the luxury of showers and flushing toilets. Here you get a bucket for shower at best, and a badly maintained hole in the ground for when you have to go number 2. It is after all the wild Africa.
It feels fantastic to be here. This is something I've dreamed about doing ever since I saw The Gods Must Be Crazy for the first time when I was about, I don't know, maybe 5 years old or something. So, 32 years later, I'm here.
And then I noticed I had a slow puncture in my front tire that had to be fixed.
Every day I have to pump this tire up and it annoys me. But I have this. Shake well. Connect. Turn this to on. Allow tin to empty. Turn back. Yeah, fine. So I'm just going to empty this thing.
And I drove off to look for lions. Central Kalahari Game Reserve, or the CKGR, is easy to navigate, and the signs here are surprisingly well kept, which is always nice. I had some lovely moments all by myself with a cheetah mother and her 2 cubs for a few days. But lions seem to be playing hide and seek with me.
Lion number 63. This is just a young male. I spoke to some other people. They had seen 3 lionesses and 3 cubs walking with this guy in this area. So there are 6 more lions around, but I can't see them. But this is nice. Now I know where to start tomorrow.
After hundreds of kilometers in all sorts of weather, I was just about to give up on getting any more lion portraits in Deception. Instead, I went to the coordinates of Mark and Delia Owen's old camp, the authors of my all-time favorite book, The Cry of the Kalahari.
I don't know how to explain this, but let me say this, that as travelers or adventurers or people that like to explore, I think we all have our heroes.
These are heroes of mine, true conservationists, and has done some truly incredible things for wildlife and national parks in southern Africa.
This spot right here is, to me, it's super special.
It was an emotional moment.
The Cry of the Kalahari is the book that I tell people to read when they ask me what it's like to be in Africa, or what it's like for me to be in Africa.
If you don't know who they are, please read their book describing their life and what they did in Deception Valley. I can highly recommend it.
Ever since I read that book, it's been my dream to come here to Central Kalahari. And this is amazing. I think that adventurers, they can relate to what I'm saying now. If you're standing on the exact same spot as your idols or your heroes, or some people that you've read about and you really admire them for their work, this is how I feel now. So on that note, I will end this recording and just take it all in.
This was the exact same place they had their camp for many years in Deception Valley. Day 3, I drove 40 kilometers south towards Letiahau. And guess what? I finally found lions.
3 grown males and 1 female. So here I'm going to stick around for a while.
I had reached the minimum amount for the project. I was happy. And just when I started doubting finding any lions in Deception at all. As I say, in Africa, expect the unexpected. Happy and content, I drove 250 kilometers the next day on the northern part of CKGR, through Passage Valley, casually snapping a few more photos of a lion resting under a bush close to the road, trying to eat grass. Imagine that, a vegetarian lion, but it must have been good for him, as he looked very healthy. Then onwards on bumpy roads down south again towards Piper Pan, where I played a lot of air guitar, as you do when you spend hours on end by yourself in the car.
Really bad roads. Really bad roads.
It's been a long drive today, 250 kilometers through Kalahari. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up, but I've seen some beautiful nature. I mean, come on. These pans, Piper's Pan, whoa, fantastic. Super awesome. I've said it so many times already to myself in the car. Yes, I speak to myself sometimes, like a crazy person. This is fantastic, absolutely beautiful. Saw 2 lions in Passage, not much more, apart from hundreds and hundreds of Gemsbok, Springbok. I saw Hartebeest. That's what I saw. I saw Hartebeest. I didn't see Hartebeest in Deception Valley, but today I saw Hartebeest. Awesome. I love Hartebeests. They are very nice creatures. Last night I just slept up there, looking at the stars, which was pretty great. I'm going to do the same thing today, because I didn't find my campsite. So I'm gonna do it. Listen if I can hear some lions roaring in the night.
There were no lions in Piper Pan while I was there, but with several more portraits in the bag, I enjoyed the last couple of sunsets like this, with my tea, just relaxing. Then it was time to leave the mysterious and magical Kalahari for the next chapter in this adventure.
Getting uncomfortably low on fuel.
Barely made it out of CK at the South Gate on the Khansi side. 1300 kilometers of driving, looking for lions had paid off. I had reached my minimum of 9 lion portraits. Actually 10. In the next episode we are going to lion territory and another remote reserve in Botswana, the Kalahari Transfrontier Park. And of course there had to be an issue with the car.
That's not good. That's not good.
Now please do subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date for the next episode. And thanks for watching. See you in Kalahari. Bye bye.